Greetings. This is Justin Allen, the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. I'm sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take a measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked with nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Chaka, who is an adult nurse practitioner. Currently, she is working in palliative care in the hospital setting. She started a weight loss clinic about a year ago that provides weight loss treatments and integrative medicine. She's needing assistance with structuring the business, how to set it up so it can grow easily, and just general help for doing things the right way to increase her chances for success. Hey, Chaka, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thanks for hopping on here. So let's jump into this. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been a nurse practitioner for, and what sorts of things you've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I been a nurse practitioner since 2021. I've been in healthcare since 2006 as a nurse. I've been teaching. I actually taught for about 13 years, and then I decided it's the perfect time in the middle of COVID to go do my post-licensure as a nurse practitioner. The goal was to eventually branch out on my own. And my wheelhouse that I enjoy is health and wellness and weight loss and being active. So that's kind of the direction that I took. And here we are in 2023, a year later, really just looking to take the next steps with my business and really get out of the hospital.
Sure. Okay. So, how did you get into palliative care? Like what drove you into that direction?
Yeah, so I started nursing in oncology and did that for a while. And then when I started teaching, I really just kind of became the go-to person for end of life lesson and curriculum. And that's what I've been doing my research on. Initially, I thought that's what I would do as a nurse practitioner. I go out on my own, but it just doesn't make sense for me to do that on my own. So that's kind of what I do as my W-2. I just didn't see a place for it for me on my own. And that's where I kind of thought, okay, what else can I do? What else am I passionate about? And immediately I thought weight loss, wellness. That's what I do anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So the palliative care, doing that as a business on your own, I would imagine, I imagine you put a lot of thought into it, and it would just be a significant uphill battle. I mean, insurance and credentialing and getting, getting in the hospital setting, getting patients. Yeah, it just sounds like a real pain in the ass.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Okay. So then, so you're working full time doing this, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually, just to that point, I just asked to go part-time next month.
Okay. Perfect.
And I got approved.
Good. Okay. So you started this weight loss clinic. Tell us about this.
So I got into obesity medicine. My preceptor in nursing school was board certified. And as the NP was board certified in obesity medicine. I just fell in love with it. I said, this is exactly what I need to do. And I can do it virtually, which is even better. So I started doing telehealth. I had a collaborating physician. I started doing telehealth, set up the business, started getting clients. I really didn't do a whole lot of marketing. Friends of friends just kept coming to me, and it scaled pretty decently over the past year. The problem I'm running into now is they've lost their weight and they're ready to go on their own. And I don't have any other services or anything to offer them to keep the money rolling in.
Right.
So I'm not really sure, you know, what else I can offer. I thought about doing like a hybrid type of situation, where I could offer some things in person while still doing the majority of my work online. I'm not really sure what makes sense at this point.
Sure. Okay. So how well are you doing? If you want to give us some
So,
numbers.
yeah, so my husband's a CPA, so he's all about the numbers. So we crunched some numbers maybe last week or so. And it looks like with the clients that I had 2 weeks ago when we did this last, I was netting about $700 a month. After variable and fixed expenses, we kind of factor that in. I was netting about 700 a month. But lately that has been scaled back. I haven't even brought that much in because there's been some things that I've needed to work on my website. And I have to pay someone to do that. Um, so right now, bringing in about $700, I guess, a month
Okay.
once
So we're,
everything's paid for.
okay. So this is like a very part-time, extremely like
Yeah.
just small income source.
Yeah. And with me working part-time, I have 2 kids. I would love to pour into it more, but there was a point where I could not take any other clients. I did not have the bandwidth to manage anymore.
Sure.
Um,
I mean, you only have so much energy, right? I mean, only so much time.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're working full
Yeah.
time. You have kids. I mean, geez.
Yep.
Uh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I only have one, and eight, he's only 8, 9 months old. And I'm just like, I was talking to my wife
Oh,
about, yeah, I was talking to my wife about this actually just like a couple days ago. And we were just driving and I was just like, there's no way I would have been able to do what I did with with this kid. There's absolutely no way. Like, thank God I got all that shit done before the kid.
I
Like,
know. I'm so jealous. I don't know why I didn't think of this 15 years ago. It wasn't even a thought.
right, right.
Um,
It's usually not a thought, you don't very few nurse practitioners ever
no.
start thinking about starting their own business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But okay, well, anyways, though. So you're gonna go, so you're dropping to part-time work. So your plan here is to Uh, I'm I'm guessing just to focus more on the business itself and drop part-time to
Yes.
work. Yeah, okay. So how many
Yeah.
hours a week are you wanting to give to, being a nurse practitioner, your job and this business?
I think what's realistic, and I'll just talk from if I'm part time here at the hospital. I mean, I would like to be able to put in at least 15 hours a week,
Okay.
with just between patients and the back end, just building the business.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And then from a financial aspect, you should be okay. It sounds like your husband's an accountant, so you have another decent income stream coming in. So financially, you should be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, he yesterday told me to just quit, but my, I just can't, I can't just quit.
Sure.
That's scary.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, that's good. That's good. I mean, if he's that confident, right? Um, well, that's good. So he must be making pretty good money then. Uh, all right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so this is the issue with having only having one service, right? So,
Hmm.
especially weight loss. Like weight loss is a
Hmm.
fantastic revenue stream. It's a fantastic service. It's in demand. And let's just face it, it's never going to go away. People are always going to be fat. They're
Right.
going to want to lose weight. It's just welcome to, having an excess of calories and, in
Hmm.
America, that's not going to go away unless we, have some war or something crazy. So, it should stick around for a while. But yeah, this is the problem with having just one service though. Once they lose the weight, then what, right? So,
Right.
right. So this is the issue of having a limited time frame sort of practice. So, there's a couple times, you know, two main types of practices. One's more of the treat and street kind of practice, where you see the
Hmm.
patient one time, they pay you, and then you probably don't see that patient again for a very long time. So like, urgent care
Mm.
sick visits, sick visits, right? That kind of model does not scale well. That kind of model is not a good model for a practice. It's just not, unless you have a brick and
Okay.
mortar urgent care practice and you accept insurance and you just have dozens of patients coming in, every single day that are just different people, right? But for a small business, for a nurse practitioner, you want recurrent patients. So that's the other kind of business model is the recurrent patient, right? The patient who's coming and seeing you over and over and over and over again and sticking around for the long term.
Right.
So basic primary
Right.
care would be recurrent business, right? HRTs, recurrent business, basically patients that, take a medication, they're going to be on treatment for a very long time. So weight loss kind of falls in between both, right? They lose the weight, then
Hmm.
what? Right. So that
Right.
might take 6 to
Yeah.
12 months, but after that, then what? They're no longer a recurrent patient. They've lost their weight and they're gone until they gain it back and come back, right?
Right.
Yeah, which happens more times than not, unfortunately. But yeah. So how do you get those patients to stay on board long term, right? And so this is through
Hmm.
having multiple complementary services, right? So these patients are probably a lot of them that you're seeing, I'm assuming, are probably middle-aged individuals for the most part.
Yep.
Probably over
Hmm.
the age of 30, 35 for the most part, probably somewhat established.
Everyone.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, 35 to 55, right? It's gonna be most of your
Yep.
patients. Yeah. So they're establishing their career, they have some money, they have disposable income coming in. And so what other things can you offer to get them to stick around for a long time? So you offer the weight loss, but what else do you need to offer? And so that's where, more functional medicine and hormone replacement therapy and vitamins and nutraceuticals, anti-aging. That's where a lot of those other service lines come into play.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you probably already know this, but what were you thinking in terms of additional services to offer?
So I was thinking the easiest thing might be, and again, it's going to be a little more of an expense, was to do kind of a hybrid where I had access to a physical location because a lot of the things clients are asking me for are things I need to deliver in person, like IV hydration. I get asked about all the time, like liquid lipo injections, like B12 or NAD or things like that that I obviously can't do virtually. So my first thought was, well, maybe I can just lease a small office inside of another like chiropractic office or something and offer some in-person services a couple days a week. Um, but I just wanted to explore if there's any other virtual options I could do that makes sense. Um, and I couldn't think of anything that I would really even want to do, like primary care or anything like that.
Yeah, you don't want
Um,
to do that. Yeah. I mean, you
yeah,
can if you want,
no,
but
I
yeah. I mean, well, what's wrong with hormone replacement therapy or anti-aging stuff?
So I did initially think about that. I guess I'm not as confident in that area, where I could speak on obesity and anti-obesity medications just off the cuff. That's my wheelhouse. I get it. I don't know a whole lot about hormones. And so then it's like, do I have the time to then, go back and re-educate myself, or is there that much of a learning curve? I don't know.
Yeah, some people will say there's a huge learning curve, others won't. I mean, I'm kind of in between. I don't think it's that difficult of a thing to do. I mean,
Okay.
it's hormone replacement therapy. You're simply just replacing a hormone, you know,
Okay.
understand the dose and understand how to monitor it and then understand side effects and complications. Like it's not
Gotcha.
that. It's not rocket science.
Okay. Okay.
It's really just not. Um, it's a pretty low barrier to entry service, in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, and we're not talking about comprehensive, complicated diabetes management or managing
Right.
someone's Addison's disease or something. Like, this is just sex hormones, right? Testosterone,
Okay.
estrogen, thyroid. Like this stuff is not difficult. Okay.
Okay.
So no, I don't think the learning curve is that high. I really don't. You take a couple courses, read some guidelines, and then just kind of just start practicing and doing it. I mean, doctors can do that. Why can't we? You know?
True.
Yeah. I mean, most doctors who are doing hormone replacement therapy and stuff aren't endocrinologists. They're just not. They're family docs that want to offer another service. They can do it. So can
Okay.
we.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not that difficult. Plus, managing thyroid hormones and birth control and stuff like that. I mean, that falls within your scope anyways.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And is that something that you could mostly do virtually, or would I still
Oh yeah.
need?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's mostly laboratory medicine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of physical exams going to really enlighten you about. It's laboratory medicine, right?
Okay.
So, you look at labs and then you prescribe the hormone and do a follow up and recheck it. Like it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be a good one to do. You can do some anti-aging stuff as well. There's a variety of supplements and nutraceuticals and medications and peptides and things that you can also offer. You can do that for clients. So yeah, I mean those are two big ones that are pretty straightforward to do.
Okay.
You can do some other stuff too, like some genetic testing. You can do some functional medicine, some integrative medicine into it too.
Mm.
So just be thinking to yourself, what's something you can offer these patients that will result in them being a long-term patient of yours. And
Okay.
I can tell you right now, you give someone perimenopausal or some man who's hypogonadal, you give them hormone replacement therapy and they feel a hell of a lot better. They're going to be a patient with you for a very long time.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
True.
So yeah, so just kind of keep that in mind.
Okay.
So that would be kind of my suggestion. That way you build up that really long term recurrent patient base because weight loss just isn't going to do that. It's more of a medium term kind of a thing.
Okay.
So yeah, but you could do pretty much all that telemedicine. You don't really need an office for that. And you don't really need an
Okay.
office for doing like vitamin injections and stuff either. You can have the vial of vitamins be shifted directly to the patient, teach them how to do the injection themselves. It's not that hard.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if there's a need in your area for, an actual physical location for some of this stuff, what's stopping you from doing that?
Honestly, it was really just, could I afford it? I don't mind being in person. I just was like, oh my God, is that another expense that I could take on right now? But then when I really started looking, I'm like, I don't need a full office right now. I mean, I have several colleagues that work out of, like I said, another functional medicine doctor, or they work, one has a chiropractor that she knew before she branched out on her own. And they were like, hey, I got a room. You want to come work out of that room to start out with? Um, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I don't know if I can afford a full, storefront. I mean, complex front type of place where I
Right.
don't know if I can afford that right now.
I don't think you need anything crazy here. I
Okay.
mean, for a little niche practice, I mean, a couple rooms, like you don't need anything crazy. You don't need a medical office with 5 exam rooms and a procedure room. Like you know
Okay.
what I mean? You don't need that. Just a very
Okay.
basic office. I mean, a little reception area and like a consultation room. Like you don't really need
Okay.
much. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you could sublease a space in another practice, yeah, but I don't think that's the best way to not necessarily start a business, but to take if you want to bring your business to the next level,
Hmm.
I don't think that's the best way to do it because now
Okay.
you're stuck there, and then patients get confused when you want to go somewhere else. Um, yeah, if you want to do this the right way for growth and to scale the business, I would highly advise getting your own space if you can. Now,
Gotcha.
yeah, what kind of budget do you have here? How much money do you have to invest in this?
I have about 30 grand.
Oh
Uh,
hell, you don't need that
but I'm
much. You don't even need
but
close to
no,
that.
no, 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 no. This is owner's contribution. Yeah, not from my business.
Yeah,
This would all be owner's contribution.
well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even
I
need that. You need like ten thousand
Okay.
dollars. Like all you need is 10 grand to invest in this.
Okay.
Yeah, like if that.
Okay.
The business is already established. It's already there. So it's not like you're starting from scratch. I mean,
Correct.
a small office space isn't going to cost you that much. What's real estate like in your area? Have you looked at pricing at all? Or
Yeah, I have. I've looked at pricing. I mean, our area is a little weird. It it depends on where you're looking. So Where I'm looking, it's a little more established. It's an older community, but still you have higher income that lives there because they like kind of just the atmosphere there. I was seeing anything from 1,100 to $5,000 a month. Um,
what was the 1100?
so you're looking at those were probably about over 1,000 square feet. Um, you can get I see rooms like I was saying, kind of subleasing starting at about 600 a month. I really am not seeing like any rhyme or reason as to how these offices are priced.
Sure,
Uh,
it's just random.
yes.
Yeah. 1,000 square feet is more than enough.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need that. You get away with 500 square feet.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so you're looking at $1,000 a month, 1,200 bucks
Okay.
a
And
month,
that
maybe. It's nothing.
okay. And that's the thing. I don't even know what's reasonable. I'm like, is this too much? Should I have no idea. Um, so you're saying $1,000 is a reasonable investment for a small place.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
nothing.
Okay.
That's just a couple semaglutide patients.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not that much. The
Okay.
question is though, is there really a need for it in your area? I mean, how saturated is your area for this kind of stuff?
You know, I haven't really done a great deal of market analysis for other things like the IV hydration and the injectables and the peptides. I really just was looking at the weight loss, which I see some, but I wouldn't say we're saturated with weight loss.
All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all elite nurse practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and then other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode. It sounds like it's a pretty safe bet.
I feel like it is. I feel like we're saturated with the urgent care type of and mobile primary care type of setting.
Right.
I feel like that's covered.
Yeah.
But
So then if there's not really a whole lot of weight loss clinics or wellness practices or anything like that, then um, I think it's a pretty safe bet.
okay.
How many people are in your area?
I have no idea. I couldn't even give you an accurate. I'd be lying if I gave you a number.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if there's a million people within, a 30-minute, 45-minute drive, then even if there was other weight loss clinics and a lot of them, there's probably still be enough patients to go around.
oh yeah, I mean Jacksonville is the literally the biggest city in the southeast area per square mile, and there's definitely most areas are densely populated.
Yeah.
Um, so
So you probably, I mean, yeah, I think you'd probably be okay. So what I would advise doing is getting on Google Maps and looking look for spots where there's really not a whole lot of these kind of things.
okay,
Last thing you want to do is open up a weight loss clinic and, quarter of a mile down the street, there's one just across the street.
right,
Yeah. So find the areas where there's not really a whole lot of services. And then that's where you'd want to open up.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
If you can get on a main road, I would recommend that if you can. If not,
okay,
then, it's fine. You don't really have to. You just make your practice easy to find on Google searches and stuff like that. Um, so,
okay,
so yeah. That's kind of what that's what I would recommend you do.
okay.
But I think if you want to grow this to the next level, it probably would be a good idea if you actually had an office space.
Okay.
You said you were getting your patients strictly from just word of mouth.
Okay, yeah. So initially, yeah, it was friends that, hey, let me let you be my guinea pig, and they did really well. And it was just for a while I did no marketing. I did not market anything. And then I started getting clients, and then they were losing weight, and then I started to go through the cycle of they lose their weight, and then they're like, all right, I'm good. Thank you. And I was like, oh, I guess I need to start marketing now because the referrals were slowing down a little bit. And so I did do a little bit of marketing. That was a disaster. I wasted about $1,500 and really got no leads. Um, I had 2 clients over maybe 2 months that signed up for the assessment and evaluation, but did not want to purchase any weight loss packages. So that marketing is a whole other beast that I'm still trying to navigate. Um, so right now it's still word of mouth.
Yeah. Do you think that word of mouth, you think that you could get enough clients through that right now, or do you think you're going to need to market this?
I'm going to need to market. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm kind of stuck because I don't want to waste any more money. Obviously no one wants to waste money, but I'm like, I don't know. I know medicine. I don't know business, and I don't know marketing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, marketing is not that hard. It's just putting the right message in front of the right people, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, and it's making your business as easily found as possible. That's just a Google business listing. Like it's really, it's not that hard. You just spent $1,500. Have you spent anything else on marketing? And what did you spend that $1,500 on?
Yeah. So there was a company that advertised that they would help you with marketing, getting leads. And so I paid them $1,500 to basically have access to this kind of like an automation type of system, but it was essentially Facebook marketing, is what it essentially was. So I paid them the $1,500 to get their help, but then I ended up paying Facebook. I think it was like a pay per click type of thing.
Right.
um, I mean, I know at one point my husband had run the profit and loss, and I'd spent well over $600 just on marketing from Facebook. So that
Right.
was
Just
the bill
ad
that,
spin. Yeah.
right, exactly. And that was over a couple of months. Um, and the last bill I got, I think I spent like maybe $200. But after I spent all that money and really wasn't getting anywhere, it's like it wasn't even reaching the right people. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah. You pay these people $1,500, right? A management fee, and then you got
Hmm.
to pay for the ad spend on top of that. Like,
Right.
right, you really don't need to do that. I mean, you could do this yourself. It's really not that hard. It's clicking a few buttons in Facebook and picking your target audience, and doing it. I mean, you listen to podcasts before. I talk about that all the time. It's just
Yes.
right. It's just narrowing that in, but you might not need to if you're in a good spot. So if you can get on a main road and have a sign, then
Hmm.
you're not going to need to spend as much money on marketing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think it really just comes down to where you end up picking.
Okay.
If you want to be telemedicine only and you're going to market it as telemedicine only, or you're not going to have a physical location, it becomes harder because now patients are searching for weight loss. And how do they find you?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a Google business listing because you're telemedicine, right?
Right.
It's not associated with an address.
Yep.
And so the only way they can really find you is by having Google, search ads. So they search on Google and then you pop up. Um, they're not. It's going to be a real uphill battle for them just to find you, especially for weight loss. Okay.
Okay.
But if it's local in an area, it's going to be a lot easier for people to find you because Google typically prioritizes local businesses.
Okay.
They're going to
Oh,
prioritize the Google business listings for
okay.
over anyone else. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying I think that it's going to be important for you to probably have a physical location. I think that if you want to do it telemedicine only, you have to end up spending quite a bit of money on marketing that to the
Okay.
right audience over social media. and you're still sending a signal out, to cold leads. You're sending a signal out to people and hoping that they bite, right?
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, and that can be hard to do if you don't, if you can't really narrow in a demographic that seems to work for you. And so that's why it's better to focus more on those warm leads, those hot leads, the people who are searching for you.
Mm,
You just got to make it
okay.
easy for them to find you because they're already looking for the services. They're warm. They want your services. They just need to find someone that provides it.
Right.
When you send
Right.
a message out on Facebook and you advertise on Facebook, those people aren't warm to you. You're just sending it out to just random people who might not
Gotcha.
even need to lose weight. You can't
Right.
target obese people on Facebook. Okay.
That is
Like you
so
can't just
true.
target people, who are 200 pounds plus or 300 pounds plus. Like that's not a demographic piece of data that you can use. Like,
Right.
yeah, you choose people who like food or whatever, like you choose interests that you think obese people, overweight people would be interested in, and you hope that it lands on them. But if you're like my like if you're like my cousin, he can eat whatever the hell he wants, he's obsessed with food and his metabolism's insane. He's not fat. So he'll see that ad, it's a complete waste. He's not gonna bite on that.
Right.
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 So that's what I mean by hot leads. Like it's best if you
Okay.
really focus in on that. Yeah. And that can be hard to do with a telemedicine practice.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. I mean, and even when they called, the price point, because again, the people that it can pay what I'm charging are really the people probably within um the vicinity that I'm in. Um and I would get people, and the minute I tell them the price, they're like, "Oh no, no, I only have $150 to spend." Well, okay, this isn't gonna work.
Well, if they have
So
$150, why like Centramine, that
oh,
works.
everyone wants injectables. I couldn't even talk them into it.
Yeah, they all want semaglutide.
Yeah, I tried to offer up like there's Qsymia, there's Serpentamine. Nope, only one injectables.
Well, good luck finding anyone's going to give that to you for $150 a month. I mean, come
Exactly.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah. That's just part of a cash-based practice. You're always going to find cheap people who aren't, who don't want to spend the money. But
Right.
there's plenty of people who will,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. Yeah. Um, okay. So anyways, any other questions?
Yeah. So I guess one of the other things, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on kind of the membership model. Um, so that's what I have right now. And I had initially like 4 different memberships. I was like, you know what, we're going to keep this pretty simple. I have 2 different memberships, and really the difference is the medication, because some of them obviously cost me more. And the additional services they get are the access to me really in my time. Um, but what I'm running into, you know, is how do I, when people don't want to pay for 3 months at a time, which is what I usually try to push, 3 months worth of membership at once. And when they want to pay monthly, how do I get them to, I get a lot of patients that'll pay for the first month, they lose the weight, they're doing good, and they're like, oh, I'm good, you know, and I don't get them to complete the 12-week membership. Um, just any insight or just your thoughts on that whole model, the membership model, or should you just do just month to month and they can kind of come and go as they want, or
Well,
what are your
why
thoughts on that?
why do you think that happened? That doesn't really happen to me much.
I, some of it, so I've had some that one girl, she lost her job, she couldn't pay, or her husband lost her job.
Sure.
Another girl um, had another provider that told her that he or she could get the medication covered by their insurance, so she wanted to go that route. It's been a variety of reasons. A lot of it does have to do, I think, at least what they tell me, is costs. They just can't, they got to take a break. They can't afford it.
How much are you
Um,
charging?
so for tirzepatide, it's $475 a month, or they can pay $12.95 for 3 months. And anything else, because I can get it pretty much a lot cheaper, I'll charge $375 a month, or $10.95 if they pay for 3 months at a time.
That's for the semaglutide.
Yeah, or even if it's pills, or which a lot of people don't want. I only have like maybe 3 or 4 people on pills.
Yeah. Um, I mean, those prices are fairly reasonable. I charge about $300 a month,
Okay.
300, 350 for the semaglutide. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I charge a little bit less than that. Um, you want to be making at least between 100 and $150 a month profit.
Okay.
Okay. So you drop your prices down and still hit those kind of margins.
Okay.
Okay. Um, but they only pay for a month and then they just drop off. I mean, how many weeks of a vial medication did you give them?
So when they're just starting off, they can typically get about 5 to 6 weeks out of a vial when they're first starting, and we're just kind of titrating them up. Once
Okay,
they
so you're
get to
not
like,
so you're really not out much. You're
no,
not really out anything, really.
no.
Yeah, listen, this is just part of the cash game. There's going to be
Mm,
people who are just going to drop off after a month or two. Like,
okay.
it just is what it is. If it's happening more frequently, though, your prices are probably just too high.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, they probably just are. So you can either drop your prices down and get more people in, or you could like increase your prices and make it more of a, higher end, all inclusive thing. But, that might be a little bit of an uphill battle, depending on what kind of patients that you have and your demographics and, that sort of a thing.
Right.
So, yes, you could attempt to drop the prices down a little bit. I mean, I tend to I like, I like offering cheaper prices, because the volume totally offsets it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And
so maybe just drop it a little bit.
okay. And just real quick, I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts. When do you do a membership model, and if so, what do you offer them, just in terms of, is there, I don't know, do you do their fitness plan, do you have a nutritionist, like what do they get with it? Because I feel like I don't know if I'm offering them enough with the membership, if that makes sense.
Yeah. We just offer the visits, the meds,
Okay.
the supplies, and we also throw B12 into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Costs nothing.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm doing way too much.
Yeah. So I mean,
Okay.
that's pretty much all we offer. People like it. Yeah.
And then you kind of just give them like just broad directions, just in terms of fitness and nutrition.
Correct.
Okay.
I fall into the camp of calories in, calories out, and I
Yeah.
don't really complicate diets. I don't think it's necessary to put people on a bunch of complex diets,
Okay.
and that kind of a thing. My goal is not to have them eat a super healthy, low inflammatory diet, like something like paleo or whatever. My goal is just to get them to lose the damn weight.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
You eat 1,200 calories of pizza a day, you're going to lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can eat a cheeseburger, you can eat a, supersized Big Mac meal from McDonald's. That's all you eat for the entire day. You're going to lose weight.
Okay.
It's just calories in, calories out. I don't care what anyone else says. It's thermodynamics, it's physics. That's just how it
Okay.
works, right? So that's what I talk to my patients about. And they lose weight. I mean, I've done it myself too. Like,
Yeah, me too.
I ate ice cream last night for dinner. That's what I had for dinner,
Mhm.
though. I didn't have the actual dinner. You know what I mean? Like, those were my calories. That was my calorie allotment. Like, it's calories
Right.
in, calories out.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't complicate it. And then exercise, I give them just a very basic workout routine. It really depends on their level of fitness, how much they weigh, that sort
Okay.
of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing way too much. All right. Yeah,
Maybe.
that's fine.
Yeah. It's hard to scale. It's hard to scale a practice, and it's hard to scale a business if you're doing too much, because
Yeah.
it's hard to keep that going amongst a lot of people. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Um, no, I think you covered a lot of the questions that I did have. I can't think anything else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that I think that you have a little bit of work to do. I mean, you already have the
Hmm.
business model in place. You already have a lot of the difficult stuff. Now it's just time to, figure out what do you do for the next step. And I think that probably getting an office space is going to be in your best interest.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So
All
it's good.
right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I like to end the episode with you asking me a question. Are there any questions that you ever had for me, personal or just curiosities or anything like that?
Yeah. So, what is your best advice, just in terms of what you automate? What automations would you say you have to have this in order to, maximize your time or your, you know?
I would say it's going to be a tie between scheduling online,
Okay.
not calling me, just scheduling
Oh.
online. They never
Okay.
had, they just schedule online just through the website. That and monthly automatic payments.
Okay, quick question. With the monthly automatic payments, do you have any suggestion on how to what do you use to keep the payments going monthly, to the point where if the patient wants to cancel, they would need to kind of let you know, or can your patients cancel on their own?
No, they'd have to let us know.
How do you do that?
Well, I mean,
What are you using?
we use Clover. It's not really an
Oh,
issue. Yeah. QuickBooks, automatic payments, you should be able to do it through them too. Or you can use Swipe Simple, our preferred vendor for payment processing. You can do it through them too.
all
So
right.
yeah, try to automate as much as you can.
Will do.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and keep me updated on your progress. If you ever want to do a follow-up, just let me know.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome. Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Chaka. So she has this practice going. It's been open for a year. She's not making a whole lot of money, but I don't think that was really her goal at first. So she's bringing in a little bit of revenue. I think that the big thing here is that she found out, pretty quick that the service was self-limiting, so to speak. Weight loss is a great service. Don't get me wrong. It's very profitable. It's in demand. Patients love it. You're improving their health overall, but it's not something that will be long-term for most people, okay? It's a short-lived experience, typically 6 to 12 months. So yes, they're a recurrent patient, but just for a short amount of time. So be thinking about this when you set up your business, as you grow your business, as you're going down the journey of an entrepreneur. You want to build some sort of recurrent income stream in for each customer, each patient, okay? Weight loss doesn't really do that after they've lost their weight. So you need to be thinking about complementary services that they would like, hormone replacement therapy, anti-aging, vitamins, functional medicine, etc. Okay. Be thinking of stuff that you could offer them long-term, so they are a patient of yours long-term and a recurrent income source long-term. All right. Hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcast. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.